Good morning, everyone, and welcome to day 5 of Can You Survive District 13. We are so excited. It's finale day today. We will soon be crowning our victor, and we hope that you are watching all day long with us. Watching Tribal Council, of course, are our fabulous pre-jury and volunteers, all awaiting the stars of the show. We have Leo, Jess, Bill, Patch, Reday, Kieran, and Aldrian.
All right, we'll now bring in our jury.
I love it. My seat is like really hot.
We've got Lindsay, Todd,
Oh, there.
Francesca, and Nick voted out at our last tribal council. All right, final 7. Aldrin, congratulations winning that immunity. Very impressive job staying up there for over 2.5 hours. During that challenge, there seemed to be a little bit of bad blood between you and some of the other cast members. Did you feel like you needed this necklace or that your neck was on the line here?
Yeah, I mean, yesterday emotions were high for sure. Things that I didn't expect to happen happened and like kind of went right into the challenge. So I think it was just kind of like a thing of like not having enough time to process. But I do realize that that is the game and we all had a beautiful morning today. And so I love everyone here and like no matter what happens, I'm happy for everyone. As far as do I think I needed this? I think like you always need it from here on out. So I'm just gonna treat every challenge like I need it.
Yeah. Patch, you were right at the end of that challenge with Aldrin there. It appeared to me that there was some sort of deal made during the challenge. Why did you feel confident enough to make some sort of deal with Aldrin there?
Um, I'm not sure it was about confidence per se. It was about it was it is very important for me to Aldrin's and my relationship beyond this game. I wanted to make sure is okay, and I also want to be okay in the game. And I told myself I just have to be a big boy and rebuild it the way I need to rebuild it, and then figure out the rest of the game from there. Because yeah, it's the choice I made and the choice I stand by, and yeah.
Okay. Leo, you were the third person up towards the end of that challenge, and you were not part of these kind of deal-making conversations. Did you take that personally? Was that an attack against you, or you feel like that was just gameplay between the two of them?
Well, I was too far away. They probably couldn't have reached me. But no, honestly, I completely understand what Patch is saying. Like that makes perfect sense to me. If Patch is anything, he's incredibly pragmatic and sensitive to the relationships that he's developed. And so I 100% believe that he prioritizes people over anything. And so that explanation is right on point for what I would expect.
Okay, so you're not reading into anything that he might be prioritizing Aldrin over you in this moment.
No.
Okay. Phil, it seemed to me that you were pretty surprised to receive a handful of votes at the last tribal council. How do you go about rebounding and rebuilding those connections with potentially lost trust with a handful of people here?
Yeah, I mean, I went back to the camp that night and I told them, I said, no ill will. That's the game. Like the game is playing hard and not being afraid to take shots whenever you want to take a shot. And I am still in the game. So I don't want to just lie down and give up. So I'm still here. Um, it was like a consensus, potentially all against me, and then some on Nick. So in a way, everyone was against me in that vote. But you rebuild and you move forward. I think that we're going to see a very interesting thing this morning because this group and a lot of people have all known that I have a very public advantage that I've had since the third vote in this game that I haven't even played yet. And they all know that I am going to play it this morning. And I have said that. Obviously, Will I? They don't know. But will I? Yes. So it has made this morning extra spicy because they know that if my shot lands, any one of them could go, except this one.
Wow. Karen, I mean, that really changes the calculus for you all, right? I
It
mean,
does.
we have not seen a lot of advantages played this season. We're getting down to really small numbers. Someone does play something and it lands, you have to have a plan B, a plan C, a plan D even. So how many different, iterations did you guys have to come to feel comfortable into this tribal?
Yeah, it's like we needed like the person, then a backup, and then another backup. Like you never know what's gonna land on, and we don't know who Phil's gonna vote for. Yeah, it's tough and it's scary, but I think sometimes people are so scared of advantages that they kind of hide behind them. And I think sometimes you have to face the risk, and that's kind of what you have to do to get forward. And sometimes you go big or go home.
Yeah. Uh, Rita, last tribal council, we had 4 votes for Nick on his way out. 4, coincidentally, is also a majority at 7. Is it so simple that the 4 people that came together are now running this game to the end of the game, or is it way more deep than that?
It's definitely more deep than that. I think, like we've talked about, like this game is fluid, it's dynamic, and every tribal council has been very different. I think, in past we've thought about like original Goddard versus original Caribou, and the numbers are getting so much smaller that we're taking everything into account. The original tribes, who's a threat, what even is the definition of a threat, like that comes up every time. And that question is especially important now as the numbers are dwindling. And so I forgot the original question, but yes,
Great.
I'm gonna say yes.
Okay. Yes, that's really hard for me to understand. I mean, we're at 7. 4 people just came together for a vote. I mean, if you can't even trust those same 4 people to vote together the next round, how do you build and keep going towards the end? How do you plan your way to the end if you can't even trust those same people to vote together right here?
I don't know.
I think it's tricky. I think you have to question everything everyone tells you. You know, these are slippery, clever players, and I think, Kieran or Renee, whoever said it, is so right that there's a vote, and then there's a backup, and then there's a decoy, and then there's a backup decoy. Like, and so it's just about like, I don't know. I don't. It's it's tricky to plan to the end. Obviously immunity challenges play into it too. You don't know who's even going to be up for grabs. So I'm going to be figuring it out in real time.
Okay. Well, unless anyone else has anything to add, we'll see who gets one step closer to the end. All right, we'll get to the vote. Pat, we'll start with you.
All right, y'all. It's time for our first cup of tea of the day. So let's head on over to tea time to chit chat about everything we just heard. Okay. All right. The final 7, historically in Survivor, where big moves are made. Let's see. Rade is worried about a potential big move. He realizes that Leo was the brains of the operation in yesterday night's huge move of the secret 4-3-1 vote out that was supposed to be a 7-1 unanimous vote to everyone who thought they were involved in it. But he recognizes that Patch made it happen by flipping and being one of the 4 Nick votes. So Rade is hoping that the target is Patch, and hearing the target is Patch because he could get credit for the Leo move. And he's worried that he could be the target actually, because as of his confessional, he hadn't heard about any alternate plan. There wasn't any decoy vote. So you heard him just now in tribal council talking about how oh, like, there's a decoy vote and there's a decoy to the decoy, but like he is worried about it because he doesn't know what that might be. Leo also worried because he fully thinks he's the target. He's a very observant player, and he noticed that his alliance was talking to the quote other side a lot during the challenge. And he couldn't help but notice that in the final three challenge competitors of Aldrian, Leo, and Patch, that right after Leo dropped, Patch dropped too. So he is worried maybe that was like Patch just kind of targeting him and making sure he did not win. And so that he could go home, and he would potentially be right about that because Aldrian felt incredibly blindsided by that last vote. I think she's in a great club because I think we all were too. And so because of that, she lost like tons of her trust in Jess. She is now reconsidering all of the final three groupings she was in with her and is thinking now her ideal final three is Patch and Rede. Yes, that's right, Patch, because Patch was also in on that vote and flipped and didn't tell her, but Patch really went out of his way to rebuild trust with her. He told her, I'll do whatever it takes on your terms to regain your trust. And so her terms were, okay, if you want to regain trust, let me win the immunity. You'll have to drop out and let me get it. And so Patch ended up doing that. And so it really went a long way in terms of trust rebuilding. I'm curious if Patch losing that battle might lead to him winning this war. So Kieran, another Patch ally, took his flip well. So he feels like they're all good on that front. And he is wanting to target Leo this round because he's felt like Leo and Patch have had like a will they, won't they, like turn on each other, vote for each other. And now he feels like it's finally time to do it. Kieran is feeling really good about Aldrian now after she lost her number one in Nick. So she's trying to assess who her current number one is, and Aldrian might be taking that spot. She's going to be working with Patch, Phil, and Aldrian this round to try and target Leo. And Jess has a pretty similar ideal final four in Rede, Kieran, and Aldrian because she feels like she could potentially beat them out at a final tribal council. And she also feels like she's done a good job of managing her threat level, unlike Leo, who she feels is a huge physical threat and could win at the end. So, yeah. And then we have Phil, of course, who had, sorry, I'm just checking the progress. All right, cool. Cam has not gone to get the votes yet. So Phil, as we heard back there, has his 50-50 coin, which means for all of you non-survivor fans out there that instead of voting, he can choose to have a quote shot in the dark where he flips the coin. And if it's heads, he stays in the game. And if it's tails, he leaves the game if he had had enough votes to be voted out. So I don't know that he does, but I think at this point he just wants to get rid of it. So it's not a discussion anymore because it's been a big discussion this game. And he's yeah, he's kept a cool head this round. I know the vote, the coin flip seems like, oh, like maybe he's worried he's, you know, gonna go, but it's not. He's tried to not let this blind side from last night shut down communication, and he's leaving the lines open with everyone so that he hopefully doesn't care who he sits next to at the end because he feels like he could win if he gets his message right. So away we go. All right, we are back at Tribal Council, and awaiting the vote results are Patch, Jess, Aldrian, Phil, Rede, Leo, and Kieran. And they won't have to wait for long because here comes Jeff, aka Cam, with the votes.
All right. If anybody has an idol or an advantage, would like to play one, now would be the time to do so.
Cameron, I was not lying. I did play my advantage.
All right, let's bring in the table. All right. Phil has played his 50-50 shot in the dark, and if he did not cast a vote, he will flip a coin for safety here. CYS, heads would mean that you are safe. Tails, you are eliminated. Or not eliminated, not safe. No spoilers. It has to land on the table, so anyone that falls off will not count. We'll have you reflip, okay?
Great. Channeling my inner Rick Devens right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say heads.
Okay.
Oh my.
It has to be heads.
What? Oh, it has.
CYS, heads. Yep.
Oh, I thought I was
Yep.
picking.
Yeah, nope.
Okay, well.
And we have Phil. I landed the 50-50 shot in the dark.
Oh my god.
Wow.
That effectively means that Phil is wearing a second necklace right now. Any votes in the urn for Phil will not count. All right, I will get to the votes. First vote, Leo. Second vote, Patch. Third vote, Leo. Fourth vote, Patch. We're tied 2-2. Fifth vote, Rede. Sixth vote, Rede. We have a three-way tie between Rede, Leo, and Patch. Because it's a three-way tie, we will all revote aside from Phil. All right, let's get to the second vote.
All, even if we upload.
All three of you will revote. The reason why normally you do not revote in Survivor is because your votes would cancel each other out. Because it's a three-way tie, your votes do not cancel each other out. So you will all three revote on the revote.
All six of them?
All six of them will revote. You can only vote for one of Patch, Rede, or Leo on the revote. All right, we'll get to the second vote. Patch, kick us off. Oh, Patch, you can take this with you.
All right, away we go once again. So, hello, didn't know I'd be coming back here, but I'm delighted to see you all. So for those of you that do not know big Survivor rules, anytime there is a tie, the players have to sorry, I'm just gonna stand here so that way I can see Tribal. So basically the players in a tie vote, obviously it's majority vote is the one that goes home, and in a tie there's no majority. So normally it's a tie between two people, and so only the people that did not receive votes will vote. Because it's kind of like oh, I vote for you, you vote for me, so why would we vote again? Because it's obvious what's happening. This time, I have never seen in my life a three-way tie, which is super exciting. So this time, everyone is voting except Phil. And if you're like, what the heck? Why doesn't Phil get to vote? That's mean. It's because flipping that coin, um, the the way to use it was in place of a vote. So because he did not vote before, he is not re-voting because there was no initial vote to alter or change. So the players here are now looking for a majority on someone, or if it ties again, which it could because there's only 6 votes, so it could be 2-2-2 or 3-3, the players would then be in danger of something called rocks. That is a very, literally last-ditch attempt in Survivor, and it's where luck of the draw literally comes into play. Because if it was a tie, then everyone would just draw a rock out of a bag and all of the rocks except one are the same color. And if you get that odd rock out, you're just out of the game. You're just out. You're just gone. No votes, no nothing, just bye. Which does not rock, I have to say. So let's see if it comes to that. I don't know. I'm like, I don't know what to hope for. What do y'all want? All right, let's go check in with our people because I think that was a good enough description.
Kieran?
All right, last player going to re-vote now. Looking on as we wait is Lindsay, Todd, Francesca, and Nick. These are 4 members of the jury, so you will be seeing them every tribal council from here to the end.
All right, I'll go tally the votes.
All right, away Cam goes to do some more math. He loves it, so he gets to do it again. And waiting for the results once more are Patch, Jess, Aldrian, Phil, Reday, Leo, and Kieran. So if you're curious about where the players are voting, through this archway, there is a little tent and a little voting booth back there that host Brandon is always waiting at. And here comes Cam.
All right, I have the re-votes. First vote, Leo. Second vote, Patch. Third vote, Patch. Fourth vote, Leo. We're tied 2-2. Fifth vote, Leo. Sixth vote, the next person voted out of Can You Survive District 13, Leo. That's 4, that's enough. Leo, grab a
Oh, I
toy.
need a toss.
Leo, the tributes have spoken.
Okay, Leo.
All right, congratulations on making the final 6. We'll have you head on over to the field, find some shade, grab some water. We'll get into our next challenge shortly.
Thank you. All right, y'all. First challenge of the day will soon be underway. You will not want to miss it or anything else all day long.
Yeah, no, that was iconic.